Good afternoon. Welcome to the Transparency. Hello and welcome to Truth and Transparency. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Transparency. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Not sure if this is working, but
today is not a day to celebrate. With the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi.
take care, Miss Vargas. See you soon, Miss Vargas. Paparazzi, stop. What is up, guys? Welcome to the Transparency. Happy Monday, man. How are you feeling? Let me crack open you guys ever do those cold espressos, coffees? Yeah, me neither. I'll go ahead and share my screen. We have tons of phone calls to make today. We're going to be calling Moscow, Idaho. We're going to be calling Bonners Ferry. We're going to be calling Boundary County. We are going to get into it, and you guys are going to have the first chance to see, where is this thing? Boom. Okay, let me back up out of that. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Let's see. There it is. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm working on a 75-page report, and I'm giving you guys the first look at it. What is up, guys? What is up? It's Cyber Monday. Oh my God, we should buy something. So yeah. You guys love phone calls. I love phone calls. The first phone call we're going to listen to today, keeping it all here, we are talking about the Dr. Moore, Dr. Dre case. Okay? Bumblebee, hell no, my baby girl. Bumblebee. Happy Thanksgiving. I love you. Oh, I'm so happy to see that name pop up. Oh, I might have to drop the link for me to hear that voice. I love that voice. Anyways, here's a nice table of contents for you. Okay. This is a once in a lifetime to see an actual report that I've prepared. Look at that new daily planner. Let's go ahead and move that. I got to start planning my life. There we go. This is my personal investigation. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of it. Take a sneak peek at it. I'll make it a little bigger for you. I break it all down, and I do my own notes on everything that happened. Like I said, I did a bunch of FOIA requests for this. You guys can go do your own FOIA requests. But I put together my own investigation. And I highlight in this investigation is that the following list that I made here in number 1 of the table of contents is law enforcement interviews. And the following list are persons who were either A, interviewed by law enforcement, and I summarize a report, B, were mentioned during an interview conducted with law enforcement. C, were names or numbers found on the phone data of Jennifer or Brian Drake in Discovery, and or D, were persons who were never interviewed by law enforcement and need to be. So let's see here. Within each category of persons, Lana Oriani outlines each person's interview, or if no interview was conducted, Oriani provides relevant questions that must be asked and answered by these persons, as TNT believes they possess critical information that is both exculpatory to Moore's criminal case and invaluable as resources to rebut and impeach Jennifer Drake and law enforcement / government officials during civil proceedings. And so I go to town and I put together one of the most extensive reports that I've ever put together in a case. I mean, literally, we're talking pages upon pages upon, I mean, you name it, it's in here. So there you go. But first, we're going to go ahead and make a couple phone calls because I'm feeling chatty on this Monday morning, Cyber Monday. I'm going to show you guys some pictures as well. This is the pastor of the church, John Owens. Okay, Pastor John. This is his wife. They were both interviewed in Dr. Drake's murder. So they also were lovely guests on the lovely Family Feud game show. Okay. Now, here is Amber Van Ling. Amber Van Ling is very, very critical, has never been interviewed. There you go. That's a picture of Amber, January 17, 2020, from her Facebook. Okay, that's Amber. Showing you guys the cast. This is Jennifer Drake and Brian Drake. Okay. And that's from 2016. That would be a year. That would actually be in the same month that they decided that they're going to go ahead and get their life insurance policy on just Brian Drake. So that was taken in the same month that they got their life insurance policy. Okay. Now, here is good friend Angela Hazen. Okay, one of their couples that they hang out with. Her husband has a porn addiction, who Brian Drake was mentoring. So there is the husband. I'll back out a little bit. And this is who Brian Drake was helping with his porn addiction. Married to, this is Hunter, married to Angela, right there. Okay. And this would be Dan and Emily Rodwell. And there's Dan. And there's Emily, but here's a, there you go. And let's see. Here is other good friends. This is Cheryl and Josh Sprague, really close friends. Okay, this is the couples that they hung out with. Question is were they swinging? I don't know. During Bible studies. Now, Amber was married to Spencer Van Ling. There's Spencer. Okay. So this is their group of friends. These are the people that Jennifer Drake was like, go ahead and talk to, except she never said, go talk to Amber. But Amber, that's her husband. Spencer lied to the police in his interview. Amber was never interviewed. Amber, we have Amber's cell phone number as Jennifer Drake's home line. Okay, that's them two. Really good friends. Then we have the other two really good friends. They had 3 couple friends. So you got the Drakes, you got the Van Lings right here. And then you got the Spragues, which is Cheryl, Sherry, and Josh. big musicians. Then you got Emily and Dan right here. And you got Hunter and Angela. And then you have the pastor and his wife, which right here. Pastor's wife and Pastor John Owens. Okay. Now, John Owens' statements to the police would differ from Spencer's statements to the police. He said that Amber drove, and Spencer said that Jen drove that night, out to Bonner's. They were all together that night at Spencer Van Ling's home. They all went back there, and they all then supposedly went to Jennifer Drake's house. All of it, though, is questionable what time this would have happened, as Jennifer Drake was missing in action, not using her cell phone from 9:30 to 11:45. But there are some faces to go with the names that you hear. Let's see. Another name that you hear when I come across it, I'll go ahead and throw up Marty Ryan. So we're going to find out if Dr. Drake and Marty Ryan's wife ever had a thing. So next door to where Dr. Drake's building was it was called Far North Coffee. It was a newer thing. And it was really, really close to the building, and that's what created that little alleyway. And actually, Marty Ryan's family, by marriage, basically ran and owned that Far North. And allegedly, this place had cameras, and no cameras surfaced from Far North. Great visuals. Yeah, I know, right? So, but yes. Now, we're going to make a phone call here, but first we're going to listen to this phone call. This was the 911 call that was made by, first of all, we don't even know who it was made by, if you want my opinion, because nobody says the name. And then I'm going to throw up to show you how we don't even have the correct address. But let's go ahead and listen to this 911 call again. And I want to point out a couple things with this 911 call that should bother anybody that's involved with true crime. If you follow true crime, nothing about this 911 call makes any sense, to the point that who is the 911 caller? So let's play that for you first.
What's the address of your emergency? I don't know the exact address, but it's right across the street from West Schwab. I don't know. I just heard gunshots go off, so I thought I'd call it in. Okay, and what direction? It's like it sounds like.
What is that question right there? What direction? I heard gunshots go off across the street from Les Schwab. Okay, what direction? What is that? Not like, okay, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Like,
Right from almost behind Far North, like in that neighborhood back there. How many? Two, I believe, is all I heard. And then I saw someone running too, and I shouted at them, and they just looked back and kept running. So. Okay, what direction did they start running? It's going like towards downtown, but they ran like back in this neighborhood back here.
okay, right there.
Okay. Have they seen it?
Okay, then he messes up. He says they ran, it was back here in this neighborhood. I want you guys to hear that again. When he says this, like he's back, he's like basically where it is, like this.
But they ran like back in this neighborhood back here.
Okay, that would tell me that you're like where you're trying to tell somebody that they ran to. So they ran back to this neighborhood. Like, wait, what? You're not in a neighborhood. What are you talking about back here in this neighborhood? Like, are you in the neighborhood? First you say they ran down towards, downtown. Now they ran back into this neighborhood. Like, what are you talking about? Okay. None of that makes any sense there. It's contradicting. And are you in, the neighborhood? Here you go. Oops.
No, they did not, but it was just all like a super suspicious thing to happen right then. So I don't know. I thought I'd call it in.
Okay. Thank you. I have another 911 coming in right now. If I need anything else, I'll call you back. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. Bye.
If okay. So again, you guys are hearing this, and no name, no like. And what is your name? Nope. If I got another call coming in, I'll call you back okay. So went ahead and got the reports. Let's see. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. I've never heard. I mean, I've heard 911 calls, a bunch of them. There we go. So this is the Boundary County Sheriff. Mike Rosenthal printed this off on 9/22/2020. That's all that he just printed this at 8:53 a.m. Okay. Now, Nate Rosenthal, but it's not. It's Mike. The event, suspicious circumstance, location 6811 Main Street, Bonners Ferry. Now, this would have been filled in after the fact because this is actually Dr. Drake's address of his office. Okay, so they didn't have this at first. Here's the person that was your dispatch. This was reported on 3/12/2020 at 19:29 hours. This occurred 3/12 to 3/12/2020, occurrence 7/29. So this is when they're basically trying to say that this is when that 911 call came in. Reported by. Well, how do you know that this was reported by? How was this made? You didn't ask the person's name, okay? And then this address, 6613 Main Street, Bonners Ferry. This does not exist. This is not an address in Bonners Ferry, period. Like this address does not exist. And then this phone number right here, it is not a working phone number. Then what they show you is officers in the reports. This is who provided reports from Bonners County or Boundary County. And then these are the incident officers. This is all the officers that were involved in this at some point. Okay. And and then now I was going through this, and these are the people that they talked to on the scene or what they deemed, they talked to this woman named Misty, God rest her soul. She is no longer with us. She passed away. Brian Drake is the victim. Okay. They only put down one number, and that's his cell phone number. Now, Aaliyah Sandlin was the girlfriend of Issac Funderburg. Look at no phone is put anywhere for her. She was 17 at the time. Okay. But we have no phone number. And now look at, they were trying to say that they live together. Look at this address. See that? See that address? Look at that address. And now look at Isaac Funderburg's address. He was, again, these are witnesses. Now look at his address here. 1444 Paradise Valley Road. 1283 Paradise Valley Road. I thought they lived in the apartment right across the street from the office of Dr. Drake. That's not what's here. Then we got, oh, here we go. We have, oh wait, we passed it here. The persons of interest that was first the person of interest was Stephen Paul Hartman. The address was a Michigan address, but he was staying at the casino and he was working with the trains. 6 feet, 220, 37 years old. He was walking in the area, and I actually have Stephen Hartman's interview with FBI, which I will be revealing. Don Childress is my new landlord. He owns the building. Reporting parties, Isaac Funderburg. Again, look at this address. Jennifer Drake, a reporting party. Oh, wait, look at this cell phone number. Or I'm sorry, this home number. That ain't Jennifer Drake's number. That's Amber Van Lang's number. But now let's go over here to this whole address and stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go take a look at. It says right here. Now, Stephen Hartman said that he was walking that night. Okay. But they go ahead and they put incident vehicles down, and they put, he has a Ford, it's a 2019 F-150 Ford. They refuse to put down the color. They refuse to put the primary color or the secondary color down. R.O. Stephen Hartman. That's why would there be, why are they listing his vehicle as the incident vehicle? He wasn't even in a vehicle that night. He was on foot. But look at this. They were looking for a truck that they said, this guy is driving that truck. See that? This alleged truck that was reported and is in the PCA for Dr. Moore's case, right? So now we're going to go ahead and give, we're going to go ahead and call Isaac Funderburg and see if we could get him to explain to us why, we're going to ask him some questions if he remembers that night and what time this all happened and why he was not honest with police when he said that he wasn't able to talk to the person. He yelled from across the way because Stephen Hartman says that he talked to Isaac Funderburg. So why did they have two different stories? Let's go ahead and give him a call.
Conifer Police Department, this is Lizzie. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm trying to reach Isaac Funderburg. Is this not his number?
No, I don't know an Isaac.
Okay. All right. How about Aaliyah Sandlin?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Have a good day. I don't know those people. Well. Okay, so Aaliyah is 21 now, about Isaac could be about 23. We'll move on to, let's see, Now you guys heard in the 911 call, Isaac said that he saw somebody looked like they were running away. He tried to yell at them like, hey, hey, and then like the person didn't stop. The person didn't, turn around or anything like that, didn't, respond back, and then like kind of took off running. Well, I got my hands on Stephen Hartman, his interview with the FBI. Let's see, Stephen. God, I have so many papers over here. Oh, here we go. I want to put this up there. North Idaho News on March 12, 2020. They were updating their Facebook page. Bonners Ferry heavy law enforcement presence in the area of Cody Street, Highway 95, and Van Buren, Highway 95. Please avoid the area until further notice. This is not at Drake's building. So why would there be heavy law enforcement? Cody Street, Van Buren. Please avoid the area until further notice. And then check out what Shelly Freeman says. Shelly Freeman says, victim is at the hospital. Shelly, where did you get your information from? This victim never went to the hospital. This victim was laying dead on his office floor for 24 hours almost. So I'm just curious, Shelly, if you would please come forward, write an email, and let me know where you heard that the victim is at the hospital. And then Michelle was like, girl, Shelly, they passed away, These were, up. These are screenshots of actual, in real time, what was going on. The next day, Bonners Ferry Police Department issues this. At approximately 7:30 p.m. on March 12th, 2020, in the area of Highway 95 and Denver Street, within the city of Bonners Ferry, a shooting occurred. The Bonners Ferry Police Department responded with the assistance of Boundary County Sheriff's Office. They're basically right there in the same area. Bonners Ferry is so small, guys, by the way. Boundary County Sheriff's Office is 4 minutes from the crime scene. And that's going to be really important down the road. A victim was discovered deceased at the scene. Identification of the victim will not be released until proper notifications to family are made. Well, you notified family on the 12th of it. So this is just interesting that they're saying this. The victim was not a resident of Boundary County. Investigation is ongoing into this matter, and a suspect has not yet been named. Okay. Again, there was a suspect who was arrested named Stephen Hartman. He was detained. Search warrants, lots of them, were coughed up to search his hotel room, his vehicle, his cell phones. He had 2 cell phones. So Bonners Ferry Police Department Assistant Chief Marty Ryan comments that there are several leads, and he feels very positive about identification of this suspect being made soon, which was not Dr. Moore at all. Okay. So, but Chief Marty Ryan is just so confident that the person that they have is the one. Okay. According to Ryan, the area has many private surveillance systems that law enforcement will review. Positive leads are already developing. What were these positive leads? Okay. This is your own Facebook page. Like, you're not talking to the media here. You are using your own Facebook page to literally tell the community what happened the night before. This isn't somebody doing a Q&A with you at this is them writing their own presser. Okay. So this can't be like the media just putting their own language on anything. This is Bonners Ferry Police Department writing up their own Facebook, post on the 13th, which I think is important. Idaho State Police, Bonners Ferry Police Department and Boundary County Sheriff's Office will be working closely in the investigation into this crime. Funny that Marty Ryan says on the stand during the preliminary hearing that he was hardly involved after ISP came in. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact Bonners Ferry Police Department, okay? Or the Boundary County Sheriff's Department dispatch. Look at that number again. Look at that. Now, I am going to read and show you guys one of the biggest pieces of evidence in the case, which is, like I said, geez, I just have so many papers over here. Trying to find my, there it is. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Okay. This was not written up until June 1st, 2020, but this interview took place. Okay. This interview took place on 5/21/2020 was the date drafted, but the interview in fact took place on March 13th. Okay? March 13th was the interview. So here we go. And just listen to this. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? Let's just go ahead and give him a call. I want to call him first, see if he wants to chat about the incident. We'll go ahead and call him first. Ask him if this report is accurate.
Hello?
Hi, is this Stephen Hartman?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Stephen? I'm actually doing a documentary into the murder of Brian Drake and was wondering if you had any time to chat and wanted to be a part of that documentary and just ask you some questions. I know that you were cleared and everything, and just want to know your experience with the incident back in 2020.
No thanks.
No. Okay. Well, would you want to speak maybe off record on it at all? We're just trying to figure out what happened to the doctor.
No thanks. I'm good.
You're good. Okay. If I was to ask you about a report that was written about you, would you be able to tell me if that's true? Like what law enforcement did?
I don't. No comment.
No comment. Okay, because we're just wondering, did you happen to see that night the shooting and hear it?
What? Some lady called me a documentary. I'm good. I don't want to talk about any of this. How'd you get your number? How'd you even get my number?
It was given to me. So I'm just trying to, give your side of it. And I think that you had nothing to do with this. And I'm just curious as to why they would ever hone in on you and just making sure that you were treated right. And if you had any information, because the guy that you actually ran into that was going up the stairs to carry groceries, he actually told law enforcement a different story, that he never ran into you. And I believe your story. So I was just curious if you could remember where you were when you ran into that guy and what apartment he was going into.
The only people that hired were the police, right?
What was that?
No, I'm good. This is
Yeah. Your number's gonna be blocked. Don't call anymore.
Okay, no problem. Have a good day. Nobody wants to help the old doctor out. Your number's going to be blocked. Sounds fabulous. Block it. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. All right. Well, here we go. Stephen Hartman. This is what happened that night. All right. So Hartman was advised that the reason for his detention was due to the investigation into a homicide which had occurred the night before, in which he was identified as being in the area. The investigating agent explained to Hartman that a warrant of detention was issued. The investigating agent asked Hartman if he was willing to talk to investigators about the incident. Hartman agreed, and the investigating agent advised Hartman of his Miranda rights. Hartman signed the right, waiving his right to an attorney. Hartman was asked to describe his actions the prior evening. Hartman stated he is staying at the hotel and got back into town about 5:30 because from work, I'm guessing. That's just actually me guessing because it's just totally not. How can you have someone on a live stream without their consent? You didn't even let him know. Hope he doesn't sue you. Just saying it. Trolling. I can do whatever the fuck I want. How about that? I was completely honest with him. How about that? But I love your trolling ways because you know what? You're here listening. Who would ever waste their time listening to somebody that they don't want to listen to? Am I in a one-party state? I think I am. Learn about the law, baby. Not trolling? Well, have a good day. Anyways, so how could you have him on a live? I said I'm doing a documentary, didn't I? I believe I did. You would think that people would want to help find who killed somebody, but nobody gives a flying fuck. Let's see here. Moving on. Okay, so Hartman stated that he was staying at the hotel and got back into town around 5:30 and drove to the Safeway grocery store and purchased groceries. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So I want you guys to see when you would ever see that right here. If you got back into town at 5:30 and then you drove to the Safeway grocery store and purchased groceries, how could you possibly be back at your hotel at 5:40? It only takes you 10 minutes to go grocery shopping. Tell me how you did it because I would love that, especially if I'm going with my child. 10 minutes to grocery shop and be home at the same time, like within the 10 minutes. That's crazy. So after he got back to the hotel, Hartman changed his clothes and ate dinner. Hartman stated every night he goes for a walk. He described his path as from the hotel, he goes through the tunnel, then up the stairs, then walks on the sidewalk up the hill until the sidewalk closes on the one side. Then he crosses over and walks on the other side. Hartman estimated that he left the hotel about 6:40 to go on this walk. The walk normally takes Hartman about an hour. So that would mean that you walked 30 minutes one way and then you had to walk 30 minutes back. Okay. If you're going past walking 30 minutes, all right, then your walk is going to be more than an hour. So you can't walk away from your hotel more than 30 minutes. Just breaking this down for everybody. So he says his walks normally take an hour. Hartman stated he stays on the same side with the sidewalk until the sidewalk closes around the Cardio studio. Of course, I went ahead and looked, all of this up and where this is. So I mapped it all out. And when he says that he stays on the same side with the sidewalk until the sidewalk closes around the Cardio studio, he then walks to the Safeway. Right there, I make a note that just so we're clear, that would take you 17 minutes to do to that point. Okay. On the other side of the street, Hartman recalled he jotted off on one of the side roads on the way. Any hotel? Yes, there's hotel footage, by the way. Yes, there is. And it's in Marty Ryan's report. We'll get to that. That's why they went to him, because they found the footage. Marty Ryan went to this guy to look up footage. He believed it was around a big fairgrounds as to where he was like jotting off in like a back street. Okay. Now, mind you, this guy is not from there. All right. And he had only been there for since March like 3rd or 4th. And so that was March 12th. And so just to give you guys a, kind of an idea, like he's not from that area. He was staying at this hotel to work. And he had been there since like March 3rd or 4th. Harmon stated that on his way back, somewhere around the top of the hill, a guy pulled up to an apartment. Now, I actually did know what he's talking about now. When he's talking about, he stated that on his way back somewhere around the top of the hill, this would be just past Dr. Drake's office. Okay. It looks like it's like kind of like going up and around like a hill. It's not that much of a hill, but there is an incline, and that's what would be considered this hill. So that he walked to this point, turns around, and on his way back, which means he would be passing right there on the corner is kind of where Dr. Moore's office is, as well as the State Farm Insurance. Okay. So he basically walks to the point of where it's right across from the mobile gas station, and it's right where Issac Funderburg says that this person kind of went off to. But Isaac's statements here in the 911 calls that when he called at 7:30, okay, allegedly at 7:30, he says that he would have gotten in his car and drove around looking for this person and couldn't find them. Okay, this is what ends up happening when he talks to Marty Ryan and is interviewed. That he gets in his car to try to drive around and try to take a picture of the guy. Like total fucking bullshit. Then he gets back to his house, but he takes his German Shepherd dogs with him. He gets them back to his apartment. Then he decides that he's going to call 911. Okay, which is putting the gunshots, obviously way before 7:29. All right, because he gets in his car and he goes driving around. Then he doesn't see anybody. He drives right back, parks his vehicle, and then calls 911 to tell them that 911 story. Then he decides to leave. Then he leaves. So check this out. He then leaves because he has to go get mustard because they're cooking hamburgers or some shit. So he has to go to the grocery store and go get mustard. All right, but we'll stop right there for right now. So Harmon says that on his way back somewhere around the top of the hill, a guy pulled up to an apartment. The guy was in a gray station wagon. The guy asked Harmon if he had heard some gunshots. Harmon told him he hadn't because he had headphones on. Harmon stated the guy had 2 German Shepherd dogs with him. Harmon described where the station wagon was parked. Now, but yet doesn't say that in the report. Like, why aren't you writing in your report where he's telling you that the station wagon was parked? It's very important. After Hartman talked to the guy, Hartman saw multiple police cars and an ambulance coming up the hill. Hartman stated he was on the left side of the road walking back to the hotel when he met the guy. Now, if he's actually walking and met him on the left side of the road, it means that he's like going, back. I question now, like that means he was on the same side as Funderburg for the record. Not Funderburg saying, I saw somebody across the way and I was like, hey, and he just doesn't answer me. Like he says in his 911 call. So they're on the same side. Hartman stated he texted someone he had heard some shots and saw an ambulance. This is in his text messages. The investigating agent asked if he had actually heard shots. And Hartman said He had his headphones on and thought maybe he had heard something, but wasn't sure what it was. When the guy asked Hartman about the gunshots, Hartman thought maybe that was what he had heard. So that's why he had texted this guy that he heard these gunshots. Hartman described the guy that he saw and he talked to as in his 20s and a smaller statue, which is the description of Issac Funderburg. The guy was carrying things into an apartment. Now, this is the aha moment for Miss Oriani here, myself, in case you guys don't know my name. The aha moment here is that, wait a second, what do you mean Issac Funderburg is carrying stuff into the apartment? That would mean that he had already went to where? The grocery store to get the mustard, right? And what are you carrying? He's walking up. He says, the guy was carrying things into an apartment, which totally blows up their fucking story. Hartman described the sounds he heard as faint sounds, and he wasn't sure they were gunshots. And so he's saying plural as well, by the way, that that's multiple, okay? But estimated it may have been around 2 minutes before he met the guy that he would have heard the gunshots, you guys. You know what that means? That means that Issac Funderburg wasn't at his apartment when he heard the gunshots. Because he was just getting back. Which means that when Issac Funderburg was out and about, that's when the gunshots were. Not when he was at his apartment right across the street. Get what I'm saying? What a bunch of fucking liars. Now, Hartman described this. Oh, I said that. Hartman continued walking on the same side of the highway, the left side, and continued back to his hotel. Hartman stated, this is the route he normally takes and walks every single night, which means that there's going to be video of this, of him doing this. So Hartman usually walks about 40 minutes to an hour. Hartman was asked to look at a satellite view and show the route he walked to outline it. Hartman pointed out the building where he met the guy along the walk. Once again, in this report, why isn't the investigating agent saying the building he pointed out was name the fucking building, man. Hartman did not see anything else unusual that he recalled during the walk. Hartman stated he has been in Bonners Ferry since the 3rd or 4th of March and doesn't know a soul in town. Hartman stated he has only gone to the casino, Safeway, and once the Super One while he has been staying in town. Hartman usually eats at the hotel restaurant or makes meals in his room. Hartman stated he was texting friends during the walk. One person he texted was a guy named Mark, who is a superintendent at the job site. Hartman stated he texted Mark he had heard gunshots after he had talked to the guy. But that's why he had texted that he heard. Hartman also told some people at work that he heard gunshots. The investigating agent asked Hartman what he had said to his girlfriend. And now this is what's interesting to me. It's funny that the girlfriend was on the phone there. I think that was her. But how was the investigating agent, who doesn't have his cell phone yet, asking what did you say to your girlfriend? How do you even know he has a girlfriend? Did you ask him, hey, so do you have a girlfriend? Where's that question? No. The question is what did you say to your girlfriend? So did the girlfriend call the police and give a statement or some shit? Because why is he asking what he said to his girlfriend? And not texted, but he says the word, what did you say to your girlfriend? There's a difference between what did you text? And this officer is really good about distinguishing if it was a text message or if it was a call. Like he said in this first paragraph right here, where it says Hartman stated he was texting friends during the walk. One person he was texting was Mark, who was a superintendent at the job site. Hartman stated he was texting Mark, but right here it says Hartman also told some people at work, so physically told them he had heard gunshots. The investigating agent asked Hartman what he had said to his girlfriend. And he responded, he told her he heard gunshots. The investigating agent asked Hartman why he told his girlfriend he had heard the shots and said he was a block away from the shooting. Hartman tells his girlfriend, we don't know if it was, did you tell her this? Did you text it to her? But why did you tell your girlfriend that you heard the shots, and said that you were a block away? Hartman stated he was embellishing the story a bit. Hartman stated when he texted about people fighting over supplies, he was joking about the coronavirus supplies. Hartman stated he could not remember anyone else in the area other than the guy he talked about earlier. Hartman then described the station wagon the guy was driving as, it could possibly have been like a silver Subaru type vehicle. Subarus and station wagons kind of got that, I don't know. I would never drive one, but whatever. You guys, a silver Subaru. Okay, now check this out. This interview is on the 13th. Okay, is on the 13th of March. On March 12th, we have the North Idaho News is updating like crazy, people. On March 12th, their Facebook is being updated, and they keep making like these, little posts. In one of their posts on March 12th, 2020, before this could have ever been seen, because it didn't happen yet, they write on their post, and I'm going to go pull it up. They say that authorities are looking for a silver Subaru, a green or a silver Subaru. Hartman is saying that Issac Funderburg is driving a silver Subaru. Like, Marty Ryan, do you fucking need some help over there in Bonners Ferry, man? This is right in front of your fucking faces. All right. How in the world does North Idaho News, where are they even getting the word Subaru? Who in the world told them that, right? Well, somebody did, because it was accurate. Okay. It's correct. But guess who was driving that vehicle? Issac Funderburg, according to Hartman. Thank you. Gifted 20 membership there. Kay Miller. Everybody is just going green in this chat. Now, Hartman described the guy he talked to in more detail. He said he was in his 20s, thin, with a light brown hair and a little bit of facial hair. Hartman stated he was using his personal phone when he was walking the night before. Hartman consented to a search of his telephones. Here you go. Hartman stated that after he returned to the hotel, he showered and texted with his girlfriend for a bit. Hartman never left his room again until he left for work around 6:05 a.m. Now, Detective Watts explained to Hartman there was warrants to obtain fingerprints and other items, along with a search warrant for his vehicle. Hartman provided the codes for his cellular telephones. The investigating agent then had Hartman send a consent to search from agreeing to a search of his 2 cellular phones. The investigating agent then explained to Hartman that there were search warrants for his fingerprints and DNA and, his vehicle. Hartman verified he is staying in room 210 at the CUNY Casino, and later consented to a search of his backpack that was found at his office. This was added to the consent search form and initialed by Hartman. The investigating agent, Detective Watts, sat with Hartman waiting for the Idaho State Police investigators to arrive to collect the fingerprints and the DNA sample. The interaction between Hartman and the ISP detectives were included on the video recording, but will not be included in this report. There is a video recording of this interview as well. So in that video recording, I then can break down all the stuff that the FBI decided to leave out of this report. And that's something that I'm going to keep to myself that I've broken down. So now what I went ahead and said is I said, okay, their times are all completely off. Hartman sees Funderburg coming actually back, walking up and into the apartment with things. So basically Funderburg's account of things and Steve Hartman's account of things completely contradict each other. And now it's like, who do I believe? Who do I believe? Well, duh. Because listen to what happens. The next day on the 13th, Detective Watts accidentally has a picture of Steve Hartman on surveillance camera, and he just happens to have it out when Aaliyah Sandlin was asked questions on the 13th, and she's like inadvertently saw it and was like, oh my God, that's the guy. That's the suspect. And here, this is the Steve Hartman guy. Well, if that's the case, then why is your fucking boyfriend not saying that he spoke with him, talked with him, actually had a conversation with the guy? That never comes out of Funderburg's mouth. How do you just miss that? That your comment, your boyfriend's comment is that, oh, somebody was running away and I just yelled. But why is there no conversation of, oh yeah, I talked to this guy that was walking back and asked him if he heard gunshots. And, he told me, like, who's that person? Like, no, you're fucking all full of shit. But the person that I'm tending to believe here is because he describes exactly who he talked to with the 2 German Shepherds, the same type of vehicle that he has. Funderburg, he's given Funderburg down to a T and has him walking in the house, carrying shit up, which is what he said he did, but he said he did that later, which I believe Funderburg is lying. I also believe that Funderburg did not make the 911 call from where he lived. You want to know why? Because the locate trace on that 911 call, it has a completely different address, and it actually has a completely different and wrong address that it's not even in Bonner's Ferry. There is no address that is 6618 or whatever the fuck they put in there. So Isaac Funderburg couldn't have called from an address that does not exist. He was never asked, where are you? What's your address? What's your location? Nothing. And so I want to know how inept Idaho State Police is, Bonner's Ferry, and now you want to include the FBI. And that's just funny because in Idaho 4 case, you got the ISP and you got the FBI and you got Moscow. And I'm just seeing the work. And the only reason I went into this case is because I wanted to know who the investigators were in the Idaho 4 case. And guess what? I'm getting a very fucking clear picture of what is going on here. And it's just, I'm sorry, but this is crazy. This is crazy that one could read this report that was done the day after and not think to themselves to go back to talk to Isaac Funderburg and say, listen, here, you little fucking shit, you little 19-year-old piece of shit. You were lying to us. And you're going to give me a million reasons why I shouldn't arrest your ass right now for obstruction of justice. Okay? You're going to sit there and tell me what the fuck you really did. Where's all that talk? No, it's because Isaac Funderburg is that Marty Ryan's little fucking CI. It's all going to come out. That's all I have to say today. Hopefully you guys will take your time to like the video, share the video. But if Jennifer Drake, in fact, did not have anything to do with this, I think that Jennifer Drake should take a pretty interesting approach and get her people to get in contact with my people. And you really want to go after people with money, why don't you go and sue the fucking police department, okay, for wrongful death? That's what I would do. Peace. I'll help you investigate, Jennifer, if you really didn't have anything to do with it. Anyways, we want justice, right? Don't you? Your husband was murdered. Somebody was murdered here. So, but all the lies, everybody's lying. And so when you're lying like this, I'm sorry, you don't just lie for the hell of it. But peace out, Girl Scouts. Ready? Woo! Till next time. I have to live amongst the same LE you are talking about. I'd move. I'd fucking move. That's me. And thank you so much, Kate Miller, man. She got everybody looking green, man. Everybody's going green. Look at that girl. How many memberships she gave away today?